Dr. Sophia Satterwhite, founder and CEO of She Heals the World. I'm so happy that you are tuning in to today's episode to hear the top lifestyle and business tips from women entrepreneurs all around the globe. If you found this show helpful, be sure to share it with a friend. That's how our community grows. Today's guest is coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome to the She Heals the World talk show. So today I am super excited to have Melissa Meyers with us from The Glow Girl. She is a lifestyle expert and content creator for women over the age of 40, and she's going to talk to us about how to look and feel younger, as well as share her story about her business and her brand. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you, and you have such an amazing story of success, and I would love to have you just introduce yourself to the audience, talk a little bit about what you do and how you got to where you are today.
Sure. Well, it was one of those stories where it actually developed very organically. I was one of those girls that everybody asked advice, like your BFF. You know, where do I get my hair done? What should I get my mom for her birthday? What color lipstick are you wearing? I was that go-to girl. So my husband made a joke and said, wait, you should start a business called Ask Melissa. So that was my first company. It was called Ask Melissa. And I put it out there. I sent a newsletter out to like 25 people. They were just friends and family. And then that newsletter grew to like 700 people. And then I knew I was onto something. You know, I said, wow, people really want my information. I'm writing about, you know, all my favorite, I called them my preferred providers. So it was like, I would talk to my hairdresser and say, I could bring you 10 people, you know, will you pay me 10% and give 10% discount to my people? And then that's how it worked. Now, the reason why it actually didn't end up working out is because it was based on the honor system. So there was, back then, it was like 2002, it was a long time ago, there weren't ways of tracking, you know, these types of things. So like sometimes my hairdresser would say, oh no, but so-and-so said that they recommended me, not you. And it was just, there were a lot of gray areas. So I ended up actually, somebody who is a friend of the family contacted me because they said, oh, I love your business. Do you want to make it into a real business? And I said, well, right now I'm working like 25 hours a week. I kind of wanted to keep it at that. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. Meanwhile, when you do a real business for yourself or incorporated and all that, I mean, it's like, it's 24/7. And it's been 24/7 pretty much ever since. But I was passionate about it. And I said, you know, let's see if we can make this a real business. So we hired this guy that we put an ad on Craigslist, and he was doing a business plan for NBC Local, NBC Today in New York. And because they were coming up with some new programming. And coincidentally, he was just like, you know, I saw that you did a couple of videos for your site. He said, I want to just submit them to NBC. You know, you never know. Well, it turns out they wanted to hire me. I actually went on a casting call to do a monthly segment. And meanwhile, I was petrified. I said, what? So, I mean, then I started taking all these on-camera classes. I was taking acting classes. I was doing all kinds of things to get comfortable in front of the camera because it wasn't my sweet spot. I was more of a journalist. I love to write. I love to share information. Yeah. But this was an opportunity that I couldn't turn down. And they weren't paying me, but they were giving me a ton of exposure. So while I was on the Weekend Today show in New York one Sunday, I don't know if you remember the company Daily Candy, but that company, the second hire at Daily Candy actually saw me. And this was 2006 now, and they had just recently sold to Comcast. So she was out of a job, but she's like, oh, she contacted me and said, I saw you on the Today Show. I'd love to build out your brand the way we built out Daily Candy. So I hired her. And then that turned into a company called Page Daily, where you get a page of your favorite magazine into your inbox every day. And it was very similar to the Daily Candy model. Problem is, advertising CPMs went down, and that business model wasn't viable anymore. So there I was again, reinventing myself. So I built this company. I had 12 people. I had 12 employees and 28 interns, and we were working out of my apartment to start.
Wow.
I know, it was absolutely insane. And I had 2 small children. I mean, talk about like taking whatever, you need to do to get things done.
Mm.
But I had to, save money on rent. I actually ended up getting an office at some point, like down the road. But after a while, it was just so hard. It was not a sustainable business. And I was talking with my husband for a couple of years saying, you know what? I'm just so tired of this rat race in New York. Let's just do something completely different. We tried looking in the suburbs, and I said, no, if we move to the suburbs, it's going to be tough because then I'm going to have to add a commute onto what I'm doing. Let's just do something completely different. We both had great memories of LA and in California. I had done some work. I previously had been at Bear Stearns for 10 years before. So, and I'll get into that a little later. But and it wasn't investment banking, it was marketing, but it was a pretty intense job where I had to travel all over the world. That was before the kids were born. But we decided to move to LA, and with our family, our daughter was 15 at the time, our son was 12, and we just did it. So, and this was like just another like new adventure for us. But it's always scary moving, but we did it. And one of the things I noticed when we moved here was that there were so many bloggers, so many people on Melrose Place, all these girls in their 20s and 30s, mostly 20s, taking photographs of themselves or having professional photographers photographing them. And I said, oh, they call themselves bloggers. I said, well, I'm not a blogger. I can do this. I said, I can do this. And I also have information to share because I had the journalist background and work, and I ran an online magazine in New York City. So I was like, let me just try this. So I started, just myself. And I wasn't even using professional photography in the beginning, but I started, shooting myself and having, friends shoot me in different looks and just talk about different things that had to do with lifestyle. And then just decided I really need to hone in on a brand. So I thought of the Glow Girl. I actually worked with a branding company because one of the women who I had met at a conference that had to do with branding, she said, I'd love to work with you and help you really, monetize your business and really just get out there. So I worked with her just for about 6 months, but it gave me all the tools that I needed to create this platform, the Glow Girl, because then like the Glow Girl could be anyone. Everyone could be Glow Girl. Anyone, whether you're 30, 40, 50, you want to look and feel 10 years younger, or you want to be the best version of yourself. So that was what I wanted to put forward and put out there for other women. And it really resonated. And this was actually the first time that this resonated, I think, in a very big way, especially because there was like an empty space for women 40 plus, especially in the blogosphere and just in general. And we're like the biggest purchasers of all things in general. So, we're a great audience to tap into. And, it's a hard time for a lot of us right now. We're just going through so many different changes in hormones and reinventing ourselves and maybe going back after being empty nesters. And it's just a great time to focus on yourself and focus on your career. So I found it to be, just a great time for me and for other women too, to build out this community.
Yeah. And just to clarify for the audience so that they kind of get an idea of how your business is structured, you basically not endorsed, but you are an influencer in terms of the brands kind of pay you to sponsor them in front of your audience. But of course, you only align with brands that you believe in and all of that. But your revenue comes from the brands.
Revenue comes from the brands. But really, my passion is to share my tips and tricks on how to lead an enhanced life with other women.
Yes.
So I love helping women reinvent themselves during midlife when they're dealing with hormonal changes, becoming empty nesters, losing their parents. I've also learned a lot about clean living and self-care over the years, and I think all women should be able to experience these benefits.
Yeah.
So what you put on your skin should also be as important what you put in your body. I have this certified list on my website, and this is where I pick my favorite clean beauty products, and I pick them based on their effectiveness and quality. Just so women can save time and money. Like I do all the work so they don't have to.
Yes.
And doing all the work. And most people don't like to do all the work. And most people don't want to spend the money or have the money.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's like a win-win situation.
Your work is just in such alignment with who you are and what you stand for, and you make it look so effortless and easy. But
Mhm.
I know, I know as a business owner, like it could not have always been that way, and it's not always that way. And I want to tap into your tips on how to look and feel younger. But before we go there, can you just give our audience a little bit of a heads up on some of the hurdles you had to overcome in the building process, just to kind of reassure them
Yes.
that they can do this, because you really make everything you touch look so perfect, Melissa. And I just love to also give them a dose of some real talk too.
Yes. Well, there was a really long learning curve for me on how to work smarter, not harder.
Mm,
So, and I'm still working on that. And, people think that, my job is all about getting like free stuff and, oh, the brands just, pay her to just do a photo. But what's involved in the photo shoot, it's very involved. I mean,
yeah.
and the copy and the messaging and just, making it authentic and my own as well. But it does take a ton of hard work and dedication. Like in terms of my business, and I think any business owner will say this, it's really 24/7. And you
Mm,
really don't have off time. Like, you know, during holidays or travel, spending time with family, I feel like I want to work on that because I think it's important to create better boundaries and not burn the candle at both ends. But,
yeah.
I do think that it's it's something that really has to be in your heart and in your
Mm,
soul if you want to pursue a passion project or a passion career.
mm,
Because like my parents, they were nervous that if I pursued something like magazine or beauty company, I would never be able to support myself. And now
yeah.
here I am, doing like a career as an influencer, and
Mm.
I'm definitely able to support myself, and it's been, it really makes me feel very good that I've reached this level, because I've had a lot of disappointments over the years, and like I said, it did take me 15 years to get here to
Yeah.
this level. I mean, I saw some success and ups and downs, throughout my career, but this has definitely been so far. And I'm 55. Okay, so like I reached my peak at 55, or maybe not even my peak. Like
Mm.
right now, it's been the best time of my life. In
Yeah.
terms of my career.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely amazing. Well, I would definitely, I'm not going to miss out on the opportunity for you to bestow your amazing tips on us and let us know how to look and feel younger, because I'm sure every woman who is listening today has had the thought or has Googled or has just, wondered, how do I reinvent myself? How do I still feel youthful? And how do I also look amazing while I'm doing it? And so please share with us
Yeah.
your secrets, your hacks, your tips, anything you're willing to give us, I'm willing to take.
Oh, thank you. Well, a lot of it, comes through researching lots of products and services that I tap into. But there are, first of all, I think first and foremost, that you have to start with a great base, and then you can work from there. But the first thing is spend some time outside every day, connect with nature.
Mm,
So I just think that has changed the stress levels for me like tenfold. And I know it's harder if you're not in good weather, but even if you are on the East Coast or somewhere where it's cold, it's still great to breathe that fresh air every day.
yeah.
So it just makes a difference. And then the other thing is move every day, exercise.
Mm,
Even if it's 20 minutes, there's so many at-home apps. I'm a big fan of something called The Class by TT. They
mm,
have just an incredible, and I do it pretty much 3 times a week. In
mm,
addition, I do my walks, I do the class. There's Melissa Wood. She has an app, and then there's Asana for yoga.
mm,
There's so much out there.
mhm,
Um, the other thing I found that made a big difference is to eat organic, non-processed food 5 days a week, and
mm.
like sort of set a schedule for yourself, and then just cheat on the weekends. Yeah, these are realistic tips.
Yes, I love that you gave us permission to cheat, because every time, number one, every time I'm on a eating plan or lifestyle plan, I cheat and then I guilt myself so much. Like, why did you do that? You have to get back on the good foot on Monday, and then I'll get back on the good foot. And then Friday night, forget it. It's nachos, guac, everything. So,
Me too. No, anything is game on the weekends for me.
yes.
Pizza, seriously, like anything. I
Oh,
mean, it's just, I don't believe in full deprivation.
oh, good.
I believe in balance. And I feel like the most successful people usually find balance in their life in one way or another. So,
Mm-hmm.
that I think that, that's a great thing to do. But also, I have enjoyed the benefits of intermittent fasting. And I think that's great
Mm-hmm.
for weight control
Mm-hmm.
and also to think about not drinking all your calories. So that doesn't necessarily mean like cutting out alcohol, but definitely cutting down on it. But like other drinks, like lemonade. I mean, like there's just drinks that have so much sugar. I'm a really big fan of cutting out sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and I replace it with monk fruit. There's a company
Ooh.
called Lakanto,
Mm-hmm.
and monk fruit can be consumed by diabetics, and it's fully keto and just 0 grams of sugar in it. Tastes absolutely delicious, and I've replaced all my sugar with monk fruit. I use
Okay.
hops in my iced tea.
Mm.
I brew my own iced tea, and I happen to love the rooibos flavor because it doesn't have caffeine in it, and there's a lot of antioxidants in rooibos. So
Mm.
I make a rooibos tea. I put 6 bags of rooibos tea in hot water, and then fill up the pitcher, halfway hot water, then cold water, then put in a couple of drops of monk fruit because they make it in the dropper form.
Yep.
It is the most delicious iced tea, and it's 100% not processed and healthy. But I recommend that if someone is looking to replace their drink and they just don't want to drink water all the time.
Great
So,
tip. Great tip. And with intermittent fasting, I want to ask that too before you
yes,
give us your next tip.
yes.
What does that look like for you? Is that like a 12 to 8 eating schedule or like a 10 to 6 or how does that
To
work?
me, it just means 16 hours of fasting. So if you eat your last meal at 8, then I think what is it? You can't eat your next meal till noon the next day.
Okay.
So it's not really difficult.
Okay.
I don't think it's difficult. Some people, you know what? You can do the intermittent fasting. Some people like really need to have coffee in the morning. Like my husband
Mm.
does it, but he has to have his coffee in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good to know. I kind of naturally lean towards that pattern of eating, but then at night I find myself breaking it every once in a while, especially on Friday nights, because I'll be up late and then I'll have like dark chocolate at 11 p.m. and I'm like, why did I do that? So,
Well, guess what? There is a company, and it's called Beauty Bar Chocolate, that you can have right before you go to bed. And they actually partnered with Lakanto for their sweeteners, so there's no sugar in it. It's absolutely
ooh.
delicious. It's like lavender, magnesium, L-theanine. Those are 3 things that help you like relax and sleep. And it's called the Sweet Dreams Bar. I'm actually holding it right here. It's absolutely insane. I put it on my holiday gift guide, by the way. So
Oh, well, I hope you link us to that at the end because I'm gonna need to get that chocolate.
I'm going to link you to that and the Glow Girl certified list and all my
All the
little
things.
inside tips and tricks and secrets, best kept secrets. So you definitely should try that. Definitely try order that chocolate. Like it's awesome.
I will. I will. We'll do.
So
I
that
would love if you also gave us some skin tips. Do you have any in your back pocket on like how to stay youthful and
yeah,
keep youthful skin? Okay.
yes. So
Awesome.
I like to use a gua sha tool and or a jade roller on your
Ooh.
face with a face oil. And the face oil that I love right now, I'm using Fortuna Skin. They actually sell it at Goop. It's grown in Italy. It's a luxury oil. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very expensive, but it works so well. And what you do is you also manipulate the fascia in your skin with the tool. So you get a gua sha tool. There's a company, Angela Calia. She makes a really phenomenal one. Core Organics, also 100% organic certified products. Really great for anti-aging and just a safe way to get like some great skincare. And I
Mm.
love all of Miranda Care's products. But she also makes a gua sha tool as well in the shape of a heart, and it's made in rose quartz. And I really like that. I also use essential oils,
Mm.
aromatherapy on the body. I like candles. I use a diffuser. These are all the LA types of things, but also practicing self care rituals like bath
Mm.
and do it yourself spa treatments.
Yes.
There's a microneedling company. It's called Sedara, and it's very inexpensive. It's just like it's like a gadget that you just use, and you use it once a week to microneedle your face. So like those people who are missing their services from their spas, like microneedling especially, you can just take your favorite like vitamin C serum, and mine happens to be by a company called Soma Ayurvedic, which is these are all on my list. But that serum with the microneedling tool from Sedara, and that will rebuild the collagen, and it's a great tool to have. And it also makes a great gift.
Melissa, these tips have been so helpful, and I can't wait to share the resource that you are going to gift everyone at the end of this segment so that they can get these great products. But before we get there, if you could look back and give your 10-year younger self any piece of advice about your journey, about your business, about your brand today, what would that advice be?
Don't sweat the small stuff. And it's mostly small stuff. The other thing is the only thing you get from looking back is a stiff neck. That's my other favorite.
Keep moving forward. I love it.
Always move forward.
Thank you for sharing that. How can our audience find and support you?
They can find me on Instagram under my name, Melissa Meyers, and Meyers is spelled Meyers. And my website is called theglowgirllife.com. I have a weekly newsletter that you guys can subscribe to for all my insider tips and tricks. And I'm also on Facebook as The Glow Girl.
At The Glow Girl. Well, Melissa, I will definitely be downloading and looking for those resources and links to the products that you recommend. I'll be sharing them with the audience, and please, everybody, however you can support or spread the word, head over to The Glow Girl and show Melissa some love. Thanks for coming on the show, Melissa.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I had so much fun.
Yes, it was totally fun. Well, there you have it. Thanks for listening to the She Heals the World talk show with Dr. S.
To learn more about how to live your life by design, grab a freebie at shehealstheworld.com/freebie.